also on some unrelated events in January.
In January, we received a crisis line call. That was January 2nd. And at that time, it was a call from Desert View Hospital claiming that they had a patient who they felt needed to speak to a domestic violence advocate. And the patient had said that she would do that. So I was called.
And did you go to Desert View Hospital?
Yes, I did.
And what did you do when you got to Desert View?
I asked the receptionist to be let in, that there was a patient there wanted to see me. I was let in. At that point, I was placed in the what they call the multi-room, which is a 6-bed unit. And at the end of the unit, she was laying in the bed there.
And when you say she was laying in the bed there, could you tell us by name who was laying in the bed?
At the moment, I didn't know who it was. I didn't have a name. When I walked up to the bed, I didn't recognize the person. So I introduced myself and held out my hand, in which case she gave me the hand that had her name band on it. And then I realized it was Sylvia Castillo.
Okay. After you saw the name band, were you able to recognize her?
Yes.
Okay. What caused you difficulty in recognizing her at first?
She had multiple injuries to her face, her neck, and what was visible at that time was her left arm.
Did you take photos of those injuries?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I'm going to approach you and show you what's been marked as State's Proposed Exhibit number 2. And I want you to go ahead and look through. There's a number of different sheets here. Look through, and once you're done looking at them, let me know if you recognize State's Proposed Exhibit number 2.
I've seen them. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Can you tell me what State's Proposed Exhibit number 2 is?
These are actually pictures that were taken, photographed at Note of Abuse in the sexual assault room of the client.
And when were those photographs taken?
These were taken January 5th. Originally, we had taken pictures January 2nd, but due to a malfunction in the camera, they did not come out.
Did you take those pictures that you have up there?
I did not take all of these pictures, no.
Okay. Actually, for purposes of propriety, I'm going to have her separate State's Proposed Exhibit number 1 and take out the pictures that she did take.
You can simplify this. Do all those photographs appear to be consistent with the way you observed Ms. Castillo on January 2nd? I mean, obviously, swelling goes up or down and
Correct.
bruising, but are you satisfied that's Ms. Castillo?
Absolutely.
And she looked that way basically 3 days before and apparently looked that way on January 5th?
On January 5th, she was much improved, sir.
Okay. I have no objection to all the photographs, Judge. We don't have to go through this.
There are approximately a dozen, and I appreciate defense counsel not putting me, raking me across the coals for that one. I'll move for admission of State's Proposed
Objection.
Exhibit 2 will be admitted.
Okay. And at this point, I'll pass the witness.
Ms. Schott, I appreciate your appearance here today. In talking to Ms. Castillo, did she ever give you an explanation or tell you what had happened to her to cause those injuries?
On which day, sir?
On any of the days?
On the original day when I went to Desert View Hospital, I have to admit that I was a little taken aback. I asked her who did this to her.
What did she say?
She said, Peter did it. That was all she said. Peter did it.
At any time during any of your discussions, did she ever indicate to you that she had used a weapon or held a weapon or brandished a weapon, like a knife, for example? Do you remember anything like that?
I can't say that I did.
I'm sorry, could you speak a little louder?
Of course.
The mic is not picking you up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did Ms. Castillo ever say anything to you inconsistent about what had happened to her, if you recall?
No, her storyline stayed intact, both times that she was seen at noted abuse, on the 2nd and on the 5th.
That's actually all I have. Thank you for your appearance.
Anything else?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Can she be excused?
She may.
Thank you so much for coming in.
The state has no further witnesses at this time. It rests its case in chief.
Thank you. Mr. Keene.
You have the right to testify. If you testify, Mr. Vieta-Cabell can ask you questions, and you have to answer them truthfully. The judge could ask you questions, too. Do you want to testify about what really happened?
Yes, sir.
You got nothing to lose, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead and
Thank you, sir.
go ahead over there and take the oath.
Raise your right hand, vest your ability, face the clerk, she'll swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
You may be seated.
Thank you.
Speak loud enough so the microphone picks you up.
Yes, sir, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Tell me your full name.
My name's Peter J. Helfrich.
All right. Now, do you have a recollection of the events that happened on January 1, 2012?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bear with me. You'll get to speak. Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was there someone living with you in a school bus on January 1st?
Well, she was my girlfriend and staying with me. She had her own residence, and she would often go back there. So yeah, Sylvia Castillo was there on the night in question.
All right. Now, I'll take a chance here. Briefly, can you tell me what was going on that resulted in a brawl or a fight in the school bus?
Well, she had gotten kicked out of mental health and done various other things that were against the rules that I had set. I had told her there could be no meth use, no angel dust use, and other various drugs. And I had great suspicion to believe that she was back on meth and angel dust because of her more than erratic behavior and the fact that she got kicked out of mental health. She became very delusional and whatnot at times and paranoid. So when we had gotten back from Smith's due to her jealousy and paranoia over an attendant being kind to me, she called me honey, and I've never met her before. She became very angry at me. So when we got back to my place, we were trying to cook dinner with the black knife in question that was found 35 yards away from the scene when I got out of jail, actually. But I'll allude to the fact we were cooking dinner. This black knife that I described was part of the scene by the camper at the time. And she became acting erratic, accusing me of infidelity, accusing me of having sex with this Smith's attendant. And I told her, I said, Sylvia, this is enough. I've had enough of you. I've done everything I can to help you, and all you've done is screw up every chance I've ever given you. You're going to have to pack your things in the morning, and I'll help you go back home to your residence. And you're going to have to stay away from me. If I have to get a restraining order, I'll get a restraining order. At that moment, she accused me of, she called me a liar and a cheater, and shrieked out at me like somebody from like that woman from The Exorcist, and came at me so fast I didn't know what was going on. She grabbed me by I had 6-inch locks of hair. I had long hair at the time. She grabbed me by my hair, began ripping my hair out. She put a foot move on me like a police officer might do, tackled me to the ground. I hit my head on the rocks. She was banging my head into the rocks and onto the ground, and she was choking me, and she was hurting me. It was like my father used to do when my father used to abuse me. I was afraid for my life. She was choking me. She was going like this on the sides of my head with her hands and choking me back and forth. And I begged of her 7 to 9 times. I said, you've got to stop. You're hurting me. You're scaring me. Please stop. I don't want to have to hurt you. I don't want to have to fight back. You have to stop what you're doing right now. I can't take more of this. I was in fear of my life, and because of prior abuse, it just put me back in a place where my father used to do this to me. So after about the 9th or 10th time of me pleading with her to stop hurting me, I defended myself and fought back with my right hand But she had such strength that day, it led me to believe that maybe she was on meth or some other drug because she was so strong. I mean, usually, you know, I would expect that from a man or something, but she's only 120-something pounds. Every time I struck her, she said, she laughed at me and said, "You punched like a bitch. Is that all you got?" And she just kept choking me and hit me on the sides of my head and ripping my hair out. And I must have hit her 7 or 8 times with my right hand until I couldn't do it anymore. And she was just laughing and cackling at me. And she just kept ripping my hair out and choking me. I didn't know what to do. I was in fear of my life. And then all I had was my left hand left because my right was virtually inoperable. I might have fractured it. I don't know. I wasn't given medical attention. I was refused medical attention at the scene. I was refused medical attention in jail. So I don't know if my hand was broken or not. But I couldn't even use it to write with properly for another 3 weeks or more after the incidents. Regardless, she kept laughing and cackling and hitting me and choking me and banging my head into the ground, which there was rocks behind it. So I was scared. There was a rock, a small rock, by me, and I had to reach for it while she was attacking me, and she was on top of me. Of course, I couldn't move to get her off of me because she had me weighted down. Right, I reached for the rock, and I hit her with a rock once, and I asked her, "Get off me and stop hurting me," and she just kept laughing. And this went on maybe 3 to 5 times. I hit her with this rock. And then she began to get woozy and bleed, which is indicative of the pictures you're seeing right there. Was from this rock, for me being in fear of my life, for me being attacked by this lunatic that was ripping my hair out, choking me, and would not let up on me, would not let me go. She finally got woozy, and I said, "Have you had enough? Please, just stop. Just get off of me. Stop this." So she got off of me. I ran to my camper. In fear. I was looking for a phone, but I couldn't find it. I didn't know if she had it or not. I was not in my right mind, you know, after being attacked, the fight or flight thing. I was trying to find a phone to call. And she came in, tried to enter the camper, and she wanted makeup sex. And I said, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you out of your fucking mind? You just tried to kill me or choke the shit out of me and beat me, and you want makeup sex." I go, "You need to leave now." I go, "You need to leave right now. There's no, tomorrow we're going to pack your stuff." I go, "You need to get the fuck out of here right now, you lunatic. You beat me like my father used to." I go, I can't believe you would do this to me." So then she goes, "Well, I need my purse." I go, "Your purse is not in here, and you're not coming in my camper because you're a lunatic, okay?" So I gave her my keys. I said, "Look, go find your purse and get the fuck out of here now, before I call the police, because you attacked me, and if I call the police, you're going to jail." So she grabbed my keys, and I was, you know, licking my wounds, trying to regain my composure. My hand was killing me. My head was killing me. I was kind of dizzy from the whole thing. And I was just hoping to rest because I have health issues and whatnot. Anyways, I hear her talking. Well, she talks to herself often because she's delusional and schizophrenic. I minored in psychology, and I had tried to get her some help, so I knew what her mental health...
Is the knife going to come into this?
Yes, sir.
Can you get us to the
Yes,
knife?
sir. So I hear her talking and yammering on, so I get onto the bus to find out why she hasn't left yet. Okay, I'm just thinking to myself, you know, it's been 15 minutes, she's had plenty of time to leave. So I get on the bus, and she was on the phone with 911. She threw the phone at me, and I see her with the knife that we had used earlier for cooking the ribs and the food that we had. She had the black handle knife, and she came at me with the knife. Okay, I never was a martial arts expert or anything, but when she came at me with the knife, I kicked her in the face. I hit her in the stomach. I managed to grab the knife and shake it out of her hand, and the knife went where I don't know. It could have been on the bus. It could have fallen off the bus. It could have whatever. But we wrestled around for a bit, and I pushed her off the bus because of the way we were fighting. I pushed her off the bus, and she fell in a way where she hit her head again. And there were rocks out there and everything, so she had fallen like in an awkward way off the bus, which is pretty high up. I hopped off the bus. I looked around to try and see where that knife went, and I said to myself, "The hell with it, just run," because she could have, I'm thinking to myself, she could have picked that knife back up and come at me again. So I ran to my neighbor, a meth addict, thief, great place to have to go when you're in fear of your life, but to Joey Fenton's camper. I knocked on the door. I said, "Please let me in." I told him what had happened. I said, "She's got a knife." Locked the door. Wait till the ambulance comes. The ambulance came, and I told the ambulance, I said, "I've got injuries from her assaulting me, but her injuries are possibly worse than mine. Go ahead and tend to her first." And so they did, but I never got any medical on that issue. And then the officers asked me what happened. They did not bother to go. They did not bother to allow me, like handcuff me and take me around the area to look for the knife, because she had plenty of time to hide that knife between the time of me running to the camper and the time of the ambulance and everything coming. And when I got out of jail, I found the knife about 35 yards from the area. I videotaped it. It's up on YouTube, the black knife that she used to come at me with, and it's a matter of public record on video and a website that I have built. It was even the restraining order that Judge Brisbell approved for me after I got out of jail contained the website and the video evidence, with video evidence of the knife that she tried to assault me with. So even though they didn't find the knife that night, the knife was found, and Sylvia had plenty of time to hide it. And by God as my witness, I did not use a machete on her or anything else. It was a rock.
All right. That's all the questions I have.
You got to hear the deputy describe your appearance as having some scratches and having a fairly swollen right hand. Would you say that was an accurate description of what injuries you had?
They did not take very much heed in anything that I had to say about what was going on and what she had done to me.
I wanted to know if were those the injuries that you had on you, was scratches and a swollen right hand?
I had cuts and bleeding from the base of my I want to say pelvis, not the rump area, but the pelvis in the back, up the back, because my shirt was off. I had injuries on the back of my head, which some people have said they can still see the scars. I would say I had a concussion, although they wouldn't allow me medical in jail or at the scene. So I don't know, because the doctor didn't get to see me about what the other injuries were. I believe I had a concussion.
It sounds like there were really two incidences.
Yes, sir.
One where she had you on the ground. You said you were punching her in the head repeatedly.
Yeah, after pleading with her to stop attacking me.
Of you.
Yes, after pleading with her.
Is that when Ms. Castillo got the injuries to her face?
Initially, I believe that if I could see it was like this side of her face.
I don't have any problem with him viewing State's Exhibit Number 1, or State's Admitted Exhibit Number 1. And may I ask permission to approach that I can see which photos he's referencing?
Yes.
Go ahead, and you can put those in front of me.
Basically, when she was choking me and ripping my hair out on the ground and slamming my head into the ground, she was on top of me. If you can see, she was on top of me like this, and I'm on the ground. So after my repeated pleas of her to please stop assaulting me and you're scaring me, and she was choking me, and I was in fear of my life.
Get to the point, please.
I struck her on, and it was dark, but I struck her in the face So that very well may be indicative to the fight on the ground, although when she came at me the second time, I kicked her in the face and wrestled the knife out from her hand.
Do you remember what she looked like after the first incident?
After the first incident, there was blood.
Was she exhibiting swelling already after the first incident?
Yes, sir. In fact,
You mentioned that she said she was woozy, or that she appeared woozy.
after
Is that correct? On your
I'm
original
basically
statement?
trying to state that, you know, as she was choking me and all that stuff that was going on that I've already alluded to, when I couldn't fight, I'm right-handed, so I couldn't fight with my right hand to get her off me anymore. So when I went for that rock that was about this big, and hit her, I don't know, 4 or 5 times or so, she finally, and begged her to stop, you know, get off me and stop hurting me. She kind of got a little